We have some answers. Ash Prophet says England. Loy says wash, which equals laver in French. Sanara says Washington District. Jinwe says Kreyol. Lukendi says Wasita. Stephen is talking about one cycle. Okay, I don't think that was an answer. F2 Haiti, the place of the third palace. And we have philosophe, les Anglo-Saxons, the Anglo-Saxons. So this is what we have so far, truthfully.
Okay, let's understand where this word comes from. Okay, Washington is from Washita. The Washita nation and Moorish sovereign citizens, what you need to know. Okay, so the name Washington is not an indigenous name. Okay, this name comes from Washita. What do they say about Washita? The Washita nation and Moorish sovereign citizens, what you need to know. So the Washita nation is linked to the Moorish sovereign citizen. So let's dive into this text so we understand. Okay, through the late 90s and 20s, the Moorish sovereign citizen movement, okay, generating large number of groups and gurus to promote Moorish sovereign ideas. It also absorbed other black sovereign groups that had begun independently. The most important of these was the Washita Nation, which began in the 90s in Louisiana, started by Empress Verdiache, Chara, Washita, Turner, Goston, donc Washita, Turner, Goston, El Kissa, El Bey. Okay, when you hear El Bey, you know it's Ottomans. Let me repeat, when you hear El Bey, it's Ottomans. El Bey is a sign of, it means chief, is a sign of sovereignty, it means chief, okay? It's like Bey, or they use other name, Bey, or I forget, but Bey means chief, okay? Yes, king, who claimed to head the Washita Empire, okay? Washita Nation adherents claim to be descendants from the ancient mound builders of the Missouri Valley and to actually own the Louisiana Purchase. They say they own the Louisiana Purchase, okay? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if Washington, the real name is Washita, we shall do a calculation on Washita, and this is what I've done. So if Washington is a fabricated name, the real name is Washita. Let's see when we replace Washington by Washita, and let's see what we get. George Washita gives you 161. 161 gives you 1 plus 6 plus 1 equals 8. Let me tell you.
Wow.
The 8 is...
Go ahead.
The 8, okay. So they all have the same vibration. George Washita equals George Bayasu equals George William Frederick. They are the same people. Look. You see? Do you see? Do you understand?
Wow. I mean, do you understand why the gematria calculations are important to do? So here it is. They give you a name, right? And you're thinking that's the actual name, which is George Washington. And you do the calculation under Washington, you get a different vibration. The vibration you get from Washington, George Washington to be exact, gave you the number 8, the number 7, right? But yet the other two, right, Biasu and George William Frederick, gave you 8. those match, right? But how do you make it make sense? Because we're saying that George Washington is also George Biasu, that they're hiding. But this is what they do to hide it. Because if you didn't do the root word of Washington and where it came from, right? And then you now go back and we ask the question, where did Washington come from? Many of you shared. One person did say Wachita. I forgot, but somebody in the chat did say that. And then that's exactly what it was. So according to the Moorish, culture and in their story, we realized the Washington came from Washita. Okay, great. So now you take that name and you put it in perspective and then you do the calculation and guess what just happened? It all matches exactly as we suspected and expected because the storyline is on track. So this is the work that our brother truthfully just did. Parce que si ou pas fait changement ça, côté que nan racine mot Washington nan, pour joindre que Washington nan sorti nan Washita, et pour remplacer li pour faire calcul vibratoire là, ou pas jamais joindre que t'es aligné, tous les trois t'es aligné, parce que c'est ça que nous a dit. So this is what's going on here, folks. We just got to give the quick translations for our folks following in Kreyol so they understand the work that's being done and why we can get exactly, Night Nurse, numbers never lie. The universe communicates in numbers, not words. Again, the universe communicates in numbers, not words. This is why you have to follow the science of universal law. Our good brother truthfully is putting it right in front of you right now. Truth. Great job, brother. Keep going.
Brother. Okay, let's get further. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the Washita, okay, is from the Washita River, and when we look at where the is located, I think you can see my screen properly. Okay, is near the territory that they've taken, the Ottoman have taken. Alabama, the Georgia, and Louisiana is there. And on the other map, we can see that the Washita, okay, Washita River is there. So it's not far from the territory that the Ottoman have taken. You see, Louisiana is there, Washita. Okay. Okay, let's get further. Okay. So this picture that you're looking at here is allegedly the mother of George Washington. As you know, is a fabricated picture. And the mother of George Washington, according to the history that they've given to us, George Washington was born on February 22, okay, postscript, and his mother is called Mary Ball Washington. Mary Ball Washington. The question I've asked myself, where is this name comes from? Where does this name come from? Sorry. Okay. No, I've not said Louisiana is the Ottoman territories. I've said they were near Alabama and Georgia, which were taken by the Ottomans. Alors. Okay, so where is this name come from? So I've done a research to know where is the name come from, where we can see the name of the mother of George Washington and look at the results. So we find the name Ball. We can find it in United States, England, Australia, Canada, Germany, Senegal.
What source? This source that you're using here, truthfully. Sous que wap chache nou fami sa, ki sous sa li la?
Okay, yeah. To make this research, I've been on the Forbes family website, which is a website where you can find names and you can find where those names are the more popular in the world.
Okay,
so,
okay. Ash Prophet in the chat has put it down there. Forebears. Thank you, Ash Prophet. Because we like to let people know, we don't just pull this information out of a hat. You're welcome to, because everybody is here because we're seeking the truth and we're exchanging the truth with each other. So when we do our work, our research, we want you to understand that this didn't just come out of anywhere. So you know where the source and what kind of methodology Learive uses in order to get you this kind of information, if you are also a researcher or somebody who is looking at this with an intellectual, scientific eye. That was pretty much a rhetorical question, so that you understand that we're not just talking here, we're working seriously over here. So thank you, Truth. Thank you, Ash Prophet, in the chat. If you want to know, Ash Prophet has put the name in the chat. Thank you very much.
Okay, as you might notice, so the name is Baal. We can find it in United States, England, Australia, Canada, Germany, and Senegal. Okay, so let's go further. Okay, when you're looking at George Bayesu, as he was a major character, we can't find him on genealogy websites. So what I've tried to do, I've tried to take I've seen some Bayesu on genealogy websites, but it was not George Bayesu. So the nearest research led me to a birth date of 1758. So I've looked at him. So I found Joseph Bayesu, okay, and then I've looked at his parents, which is Baptiste de Coligny de Flores, okay, and Aminata Mendez, okay. So what I've did then,